everyone. Welcome to the following broadcast of Green Bay Glory Soccer. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's Pat Cole. We've got Miranda Neiman in the booth with us today. A very happy Friday night to you. We are thrilled to have you join us for the following broadcast as the Green Bay Glory get ready to take on the Chicago Red Stars reserves. Good evening, Pat. Good evening, Miranda. Thank you for joining us. Pat, we've got a fun one in store tonight. Anytime the Red Stars and the Glory score off, we always know there's going to be a lot of physicality and a lot of speed and a lot of talent. But what are you looking forward to about the game tonight?
Yeah, Baxter, this is going to be a big test for the Glory defense. Coming off of a defeat against the Red Stars last time, 5-0. Looking to improve on that and obviously try to keep them out of the back of the net.
Absolutely. Miranda, you were in the goal for part of that game down in Chicago. Give us your thoughts about what you saw at that point and just where the Glory are at since that point.
Well, we got a lot of people out there. We have a really strong defense, and they definitely came at us. And I remember I watched a little bit of the Chicago Bavarians versus the Red Stars, and what they did was block all of their passing zones. So I guess that's what we really need to be doing today. That's what really helps break everything down and keep them from not going in.
Absolutely, yeah. The Glory tonight coming off of their first point of the season, a 2-2 draw down in Chicago just a couple of days ago against Chicago City. Trudy Kwidzynski with a rocket of a goal in the 88th minute, 89th minute to seal that very needed point. And that's how the stepping stones can happen. We've seen the losses, we've seen the close games, but still that failure to get that first point was so important, and we've seen that now. Motivation seems to be high. I've heard the energy at practice this week has been really good. What are you looking for from the Glory tonight, Pat, to continue moving forward with that energy, knowing that they also have another game in 2 days?
Yeah, Baxter, you said it. The energy is going to be key here, building on the momentum from their first points of the season, doubling the goal scored total for the year, just being able to get the offense going. It's been something that the Glory have struggled with throughout the season. It's a promising sign moving forward. Hopefully they can continue that trend.
Absolutely. We are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we are going to have Greg Bintz, Mandy Wilkie, and Becky Kroll to help you break down what's going on tonight. If you're going to come out to the game, we have got some great things in store for you. And if you're going to be watching as well, we've got some fun things in store for you. Stay tuned. It is Green Bay Glory Soccer on YouTube and on 11sports.com. Welcome back to Green Bay Glory Soccer. I'm Baxter Colburn. We've got a great interview now in store for you. It is Greg Bintz and Mandy Wilkie. A very good afternoon, good evening to both of you. You've got Dr. Becky Kroll with you, who's going to be running our halftime games. Greg and Mandy, take it away.
Thanks so much, Baxter. We are here pre-game, and we are here with Becky Kroll. So I am going to allow her to introduce herself and her business, and then tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Green Bay Glory.
I'm Dr. Becky Kroll from the Green Bay and Alloway Animal Hospital. As one of the owners and the supporter of the Glory Pound. Glory just came into life because Carrie Giocaris is our executive business coach. It's also something I'm passionate about as far as female athletes, the mission they stand for. It was a no-brainer to support this organization.
Well, and of course we have the pound, right? So the dog, the vet, it all goes together. Awesome. That's great. So we're excited to have you here.
It's
It's glow night.
It is Glow Night.
It's Glow Night, yeah.
So what do we have coming up at halftime?
Yeah, so at halftime, it has nothing to go with Glow Night, but at halftime we're going to have inflatable animal races, which is hilarious. It's going to be an awesome event. We've got all sorts of giveaways, T-shirts again tonight, noisemakers, glow necklaces, so lots of fun stuff.
I think I heard some cowbell down there too. Did I hear some cowbell?
There's some bells tonight, so we're ready to make some noise.
Awesome. We're going to kick it back over to Baxter. Thanks, Becky, for all you do for the Glory.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Greg, and Dr. Becky as well. We've got a fun one in store for you tonight. We've got a lot of things to break down and look at as we get ready to get this game rocking and rolling. We're going to have our studio team really do some bigger analysis as we're about 19 minutes away from kickoff at this time, Pat. So looking at this game, it's a very much must-win game. There's 5 games left in the season. Glory find themselves at the bottom of the table right now as far as where the points and everything have kind of shifted out. 15 goals conceded, 4 goals scored. One of the things I'm going to be looking at tonight is where the goals are going to come from, because Trudy Kudzinski not playing tonight. I believe they're just resting her. We've had some injuries, a couple of dinks and knocks this week for a lot of players. But from what we expect, Jackie Melke's going to have a much bigger role as we'll get to the starting 11 in a little bit. But Jackie will be starting tonight. We hope to see more physicality from her. Plus the Glory running a 4-5-1 tonight as well, trying to see a lot of that power, that speed that come from the midfield as well. But what are you looking for specifically from the Glory tonight?
Yeah, Baxter, I touched on it earlier, just carrying that momentum over from their from the 2-goal tie against Chicago City, being able to keep that offensive pressure up and really put some pressure on the Chicago Red Stars. We know this is a talented team. What we don't know is how the Chicago Red Stars are going to react if the Glory are able to get a goal on the board first and put a little bit of extra pressure on the Red Stars. You know, they've got the one loss against the Bavarians. They lost 0-1. So, if the Glory can get the first goal and make the Red Stars respond to that, who knows how. Doesn't matter how good they are if they can't respond to the pressure. Exactly right. Miranda, you've seen this team firsthand. You've been in goal against them. Only 2 goals conceded, 3 goals conceded. I don't remember officially what you had in that game in Chicago, but you look at the way that they attack. How do you break that game down from your vantage point, from the goalkeeper trying to run your defense in front of you?
So most of the time they came from the right side with their right back and found those passing slots right between our midfield to get it out to the left side. And all they did, we had that nice slot ball between the PK spot in front of the 6 and perfectly passed it right to like their back side. And for a goalkeeper themselves, it's hard to defend that, and it's hard for any defensive player to like run onto that and try to clear it out. So what we really need to work on is try to break them down in this midfield, and that's probably why they're playing a 4-5-1 today, so they have more people in that midfield.
What has been the most encouraging thing that you've seen out of practice this week? You know, there's a lot of things that you come off of a draw. Getting that, sometimes when you get that last-minute draw, that's almost sometimes better than getting a late-minute win because you don't lose. You still get a point. You're on the road. There's that excitement that still buds. What has been the vibe in practice this week? What have you seen from the players and the energy walking into a busy weekend of 2 really tough games between the Red Stars tonight and then the Dutch Lions on Sunday?
A lot of energy, honestly, and then a lot of positivity. We're all constantly moving forward, and from even any ups and downs that we've been through, we're constantly putting ourselves out there and trying to boost up his energy and, yeah, just keep moving forward.
Pat, we look at 4 goals scored, 15 conceded, a -11 goal differential for Green Bay Glory. You look at the Red Stars, 15 goals scored, 1 goal conceded. So they're not perfect. They have some weaknesses, as Miranda has briefly explained, but that doesn't make it any easier, obviously. If you're the Red Stars, it's hard to sometimes look when you say, oh, we're playing the team that's the bottom. We're playing, the team that has a hard time scoring goals and seems to really allow goals in. What is that mentality that can be there for the Red Stars as far as do you play around the first little bit and test the waters, or do you just try to come out right out of the gate?
Well, Baxter, we know this Green Bay Glory team is talented, and the Red Stars really can't afford to be lackadaisical because you lose focus even against a bottom-of-the-table team, and they can turn around things on you and put a goal on the back of the net, and all of a sudden, then, like I mentioned, you've got all the pressure on yourself. So the Red Stars are going to have to be focused, and, these are all high-level athletes, so I'm sure they all will be, but you can't afford to come out lackadaisical. You've got to be locked in from the first whistle.
Absolutely right. Well, we are going to take a really quick break. When we come back, Mandy Wilkie and our game day studio crew have got all the analysis to get us ready for this match. It is the Green Bay Glory welcoming in the Chicago Red Stars reserves live from Capitol Park. We'll be back with more right after this. All right. Welcome back to Green Bay Glory Soccer. I'm Baxter Colburn. A very happy Friday evening to you. We are a little over 11 minutes away from kickoff at Capital Credit Union Park. It's time to bring it over to Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, and Ashley Grant, our studio team, to bring us more analysis as we get ready for tonight's game. Mandy, what do you got for us tonight?
Super excited to be back here at Capital Credit Union Park, and I've got Ashley and Linda here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the game. Let's kick off talking about last weekend, and we headed down to Chicago. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, so from what I hear, right, you guys tied 2-2 on the road and really had a strong showing down in Chicago.
It was a fantastic game. We played, I think, probably the best we've played all season. All the girls were playing together. Every other game we've been playing super hard and working, you know, you could see it. It was almost there, but we were all working individually, and last week everything started to click, and we were connecting our passes and playing as a unit. It was fun to watch.
Gets you that first point of the season, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll take the tie, right?
That's great. That leads into tonight's game a little bit. Let's talk about the last time the Glory faced the Red Stars.
It was a hard game. They, we played tough. We were able to keep them at bay until about the last 6 minutes of the first half. They got 2 in real quickly on us. We ended the game 5-0, but second half came back, battled again really hard, and learned a lot, honestly, from that game. And we've been structuring our practices and talking about it a lot, and prepping for what's in store for tonight.
Yeah, and this is a unique team, right, for your group that's in your conference. Ultimately, they literally could get called up at any time to the semi-pro team. So they really are a feeder at a little bit higher level. Some of them are graduated from college and able to really be called into the semi-pro level quickly.
The full pro level.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yep.
So let's talk about playing against them. The plan for tonight's game might look a little different for the Glory. The setup on the field. Break that down for us for both teams, if you will.
Yeah, I think what we hear from the Glory tonight, they're going to start with a 4-5-1, which is a little bit of a conservative, especially against a team that maybe has beaten them 5-0. Like, you want to play tight soccer to start the game, and this will give them some control in the backfield and be able to work themselves up the field and get some opportunities, but just with a little bit tighter structure to start. And they'll go up against against Chicago. What it sounds like to be a 4-3-2 is what they'll start the game with. I don't know your thoughts on that, Ashley.
I think exactly what you just said. We're gonna compact and try to get a hold of ourselves, a hold of the game, the momentum to start, and then you might see, our shape might shift a little bit. We might go into a 4-4-2 as we get more comfortable with the game itself. And
you guys have done well with that 4-4-2.
We've done really well.
Yeah.
We've been playing it really well together. That's what we used against Chicago City, and it turned out great for us then. So I could see that happening here in the second half.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So in a summary, would you say that's more of a reactive approach instead of a proactive approach, starting the Glory the way they are with that game plan?
It's proactive in the case that we know what's coming. We know that dynamic speed's headed straight at our faces. It'll give us a second to just breathe, get settled into our positions, and then we can adjust from there if we need to.
We've had a few player changes, some injuries this week. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see on the field tonight from the team.
There's going to be a lot of energy. We've got a couple people injured. One of our goalies went down, a little bit of a concussion there. We've got another one of our girls, Trudy Kwidzinski. She's got a pull in her quad, and they're choosing to rest her, get her healthy and ready for the next game. So we've got a couple people out that are normally involved more in the game, but the girls that are out there are ready and rearing to go.
We've had a lot going on with the weather this week in Wisconsin. It's been a typical weather week here. We've had really cold temps. We've had really hot temps. We've had a lot of wind, some extra rain. We've got a lot going on. Tell us how that can affect the game tonight.
Yeah, I think the way it looks tonight, it's a beautiful night for soccer. It is just absolutely beautiful. But I think probably around halftime you might see the winds pick up a little bit, so there's a little bit of strategy there about making sure that you're tight and you're able to get the ball out of the air properly when the winds start to pick up. But otherwise, it's a beautiful night for soccer here tonight.
Yeah, I've heard the wind can kind of whip through here, and it doesn't necessarily feel the same. I would say it's easily 10 degrees colder up here versus down on the field with the sun in our faces. Tell me what it's like to play just on a night like tonight. Is this your ideal condition?
This is pretty close to ideal condition. That sun's kind of hidden away right now. The weather's pretty nice overall, and I think we're in for a great game.
That's awesome. The players are taking the field now, so we're getting ready to start at the game. So we're going to turn it back over to you, Baxter.
Thank you very much, Mandy, Linda, and Ashley. A lot to look forward to tonight, Pat, as the teams are taking the field tonight, the starting 11. Let's go through it tonight. First, for the Green Bay Glory, we've got Ashley LeCount in goal. The 4 defenders tonight, you've got Mackenzie Scholes, Hannah Krupa, Abby Gemza, and you've got Maddie Cruz as your back 4. The 5 midfielders tonight, and no particular position, so don't be married to the positions that we see here on the graphic, but Skylar Prentice, Nicole Fries, Mackenzie August, Bree Messner, Lauren Singstock, and then Jackie Melke up at the top spot. Really quickly, looking at that starting 11, you see the players, you see the speed, lots of creativity there in the midfield. Pat, what do you take away from those 11 ladies on the field?
Lots of creativity there, Baxter. Some good experience for the Green Bay Glory. Jackie Melke is one of those high-energy players like we've talked about. She's going to be up top. She's going to put some pressure on the Red Stars. Mackenzie August locking down the midfield there. She's, like I said, she's very experienced. She knows what she's doing. And mostly new players back there on the defense, but all, again, very experienced players. They know what they're doing. They've proven their quality, and they're certainly going to give the Red Stars a challenge.
And now the starting 11 for the Chicago Red Stars. 11 players, 16 total that have traveled tonight. They're playing a 4-3-3. We've got Bloomer in goal. You've got Carey, Weeks, Phillips, and Monticello as the defenders. Lebovic, Jasnanik, Bizanurik and Hernandez as your midfielders, and then you've got those are your midfielders, and then Hernandez is a forward, Di Filippo and Johnson as your 3 attackers. This is a team that pulls players from all over the country. As you look at the different colleges and areas that they come from, there's players on this team from Florida, there's players on this team from Wisconsin, Tennessee, Clemson, Arkansas, Xavier, Notre Dame, Marquette, Maryland, Butler, Illinois, just to name a couple. Those are all high-level Division I soccer programs. It can be intimidating at times when you look at this on paper, right? And we know games are not won and lost on paper, Miranda, but you look at teams on paper, and sometimes that can be a bit of a mental battle at times to say, well, I don't go to a Marquette. I don't know what it's like to be a part of a feeder team for a pro-level club. How do you get over that mental break as you're trying to prepare? Is it just another game of soccer? Is it just another player on the field? How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, I always think about it because this is a new team for them too. Like these players are out here trying to get used to a whole new team, and doesn't matter where they're from. I'm from a D3 school, and I still made it on a team here. So everyone's just a player, and everyone has their team.
Absolutely right. As the players are getting announced right now on the Red Stars side of things, Pat, when you look at the Red Stars and the players that they bring, it's hard for us to not have a clear picture, because we've seen different players from when they played a couple of weeks ago in Chicago to even when they played just last week as well against other opponents. So that can obviously be hard from a cohesion perspective, but what do the Red Stars need to do to just really jump out tonight and make it feel like they're making a big impact right away?
Well, Baxter, one of the things we all noticed right away when they got off the bus was the height of this team. They all looked just tall. And obviously having that height on the field allows for winning the balls out of the air. That's going to be key tonight. With we can see some already. The flags are all flying, standing up straight out. So it's going to be a windy night. Getting the ball out of the air, that first touch is going to be key for both teams. And obviously that height advantage for Chicago could be a big plus. Exactly right.
A couple of quick notes as well. Some of the more recent conference results that we've seen in the Lake Michigan Conference. The standings as a whole really have shifted a little bit as far as the first, second, third, and so on teams. But when you look at the standings of the conference right now, it is the Red Stars at number 1, FC Milwaukee Torrent right behind them with 10 points, Chicago Dutch Lions with 7, the Milwaukee Bavarians with 5, Chicago City behind them with 4 points, and then your Green Bay Glory with 1 point. Still a lot of games left to be played. 5 games this season, as we have a little bit more to go. This is one of 2 games this weekend. Talk about that perspective as well, Miranda. When you've got, we've all played club soccer growing up. We're used to those 3 or 4 games in a day, but obviously it's a little bit different now. You've got a game tonight against a very physical, very fast, tiring opponent to then flip around and say, okay, Sunday night, we have to now play another pretty physical game. The Chicago Dutch Lions are a very good team. They've been surprisingly good, I think, to start the season so far. So when you look at that, how do you prepare for that? What changes do you have to do to keep your body ready? What are the things that you typically do as a player to be ready for that?
Well, usually like the day after a big game, like tomorrow is going to be a big recovery day for a lot of these people. But we also have to be focusing on hydration and nutrition, and also just getting into that mentality of like, I have a game tomorrow. I got to be mentally prepared to go out and kick butt.
Absolutely right. So we are getting ready for the national anthem, so we will step aside for a brief moment as our national anthem singer Jill Lemke will be performing. She performed back when we had the Milwaukee Torrent here back on the 13th, and she is back tonight and will be here again on Sundays, so a great opportunity to enjoy what Jill can do for us. So let us step aside as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem by Jill Lemke.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we we're so glad.
Absolutely fantastic national anthem from Jill Lemke tonight. We are going to go down to another fantastic human being. Greg Bintz is down on the sidelines. Greg, a very good evening to you, sir. What do you have for us as we get ready for the match tonight? Having trouble hearing Greg for a second. We will cut to Greg here in a little bit. So apologies for that. But we are excited for the match tonight. Pat, as you look at the final things tonight, your final takeaways as we get ready for this match tonight.
Yeah, Baxter, we've talked about it last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, against the Milwaukee Torrent. It'll be interesting to see how the Red Stars get used to the field lines. I think that'll be a talking point throughout the season. Just the baseball field lines mixed in there with the soccer lines is going to be a tough task for all the teams coming in, because this is just obviously an unusual situation for them. Other than that, the weather will be a bit of an interesting factor with the wind whipping around. We're hoping to avoid any of the rain showers that have been scattered throughout Wisconsin this week. But Baxter, we're just looking for forward to a fun, exciting, physical, like you said, high pace. This Red Stars team is fast. It'll be a challenge for the defense to stay in front of them, but I think the Glory defense is up to it.
Captains meeting at midfield. Tonight you've got Shaylin Jared, Ashley LeCount, and Lauren Singstock as your 3 captains for the Glory. The ball presenters just a few minutes ago from Mack Rock. You've got Mackenzie August, one of the Glory players, but also owner. A great training facility here in the Green Bay area, not only for women's soccer players, but for players of all ages. The Green Bay Voyagers, who also play here at Capital Credit Union Park, also play their soccer there and do a lot of training there. So we are going to be in for a treat tonight as we see the pound getting ready. We have the noisemakers, we've got the sirens, we've got the drums, we've got the flags. And I've heard that it's going to get a little bit more fun and rambunctious once the lights go down a little bit. We've got some fun in store tonight. So if you are not able to join us live here at Capitol Park, we hope that you enjoy our broadcast wherever you might be, whether you're watching us live on YouTube or if you are watching us on 11 Sports, formerly My Cujo. We are thrilled for you to join us tonight. Tonight, I'm really going to be looking for a couple of specific areas, Pat and Miranda. I'm going to be looking to see how the Glory respond right away. Sometimes when you know that you're playing an opponent that on paper is better than you, you sometimes like to sit back and say, okay, well, let's see what they do right away. I really want to see and hope that the Glory just come out of the gate swinging immediately. If you can sneak an early goal, that can change the momentum, or at least a couple of quality shots. It doesn't always have to be a goal, but to send those warning shots to the defense, to the opposing goalie, and say, hey, we're not going to just sit back and just try to respect you because you might happen to be better than us on paper. I think the Glory are going to really come out fighting. That energy that they're carrying over from Chicago City, I think, is going to be so crucial for the success of the match tonight as well. Pat, what are you looking for as you want to see this game get ready to kick off?
Yeah, Baxter, one of the big key points from that Torrent game 2 weeks ago here was just connecting passes, finishing passes to feet, being able to find that target that you were looking for. The Glory really kind of struggled with that. So finishing those passes, like we said, and especially in the offensive third, leading to those chances you've talked about will definitely be a key for the Glory tonight.
Miranda, final thoughts from you before we kick off tonight?
No, not really, but definitely we really have to bring in the energy, and let's get some goals.
There we go. I love it. The Red Stars will be kicking us off as they will be going from right to left, and we are underway tonight at Capital Credit Union Park. Baxter Colburn, Pat Cole, Miranda Neiman in the booth, Greg Bintz down on the sidelines as the Red Stars look to move on with their season, look to continue their scoring ways. So it'll be fascinating to see what they can provide right away. They've got a little bit of a surprise with that 1-0 loss to the Bavarians. They're going to be looking for a little bit of extra redemption tonight against the Glory. But the Glory are not afraid to use that underdog status at times as well to see what they can do and maybe shock the world as well. Ball played back into possession by LeCount. Melke fighting at the half-field mark. Ball will run out of bounds on the near side.
Red Stars with the ball now on the far side, looking, both teams looking just a little bit cautious and patient here at the beginning. Nothing really, no too heavy attacks, no probing through balls or anything like that. Just kind of trying to feel each other out early here. Now, as I say that, Red Stars driving towards the top of the 18. Looking for a cross or a shot. Well done. Krupa stepping in front and just blocking that shot, cross, whatever you'd like to call it. Getting in the way of the passing lanes is going to be a big thing for the Glory tonight. Ball out of bounds for a throw-in for the Glory. Schultz with the throw. Long throw, almost over the top to Milky. And again, out of bounds, Glory throw-in. With the wind at the back of the Glory in the first half, look for the long throws over the top, long through balls over the top, using some of that wind, maybe catching the Red Stars defense sleeping. As the Red Stars come on the counter now off the throw. Good through ball to the top, but Glory defense quickly there. Oh, and there's a goal for the Chicago Red Stars off of a bit of a deflection on a weird shot at the top of the key. Back out to the Red Stars. I didn't quite see who got the ball there, and she just fired it towards LeCount's crossbar, and Ashley was unable to get up to the top. Quick goal for the Red Stars in the 3rd minute here. Glory find themselves down 1-0 again. Similar to the storyline from the Milwaukee Torrent game here at Capital Credit Union Park 2 weeks ago, Glory are going to have to find a way to battle back into this game. Cruz now looking for freeze. And the Red Stars win the ball back at midfield. Gemza with some very tough defense, not allowing a turn. Gemza's going to have to get to that ball. LeCount staying on her post. And Gemza just kind of lets it ride out of bounds for a goal kick. I don't know if LeCount wasn't ready for that shot or just caught her a little bit flat-footed.
It was at a pretty weird angle, I feel like, for her, because it was like you don't really get a chance, or there's not a lot of chances in a game where people can just go right down the middle. And, I mean, Ashley's got very high hops, and just how the ball was placed, and maybe like the wind had it hanging a little bit, and she just misread it a little bit. But yeah, there wasn't much that she could do.
Yep. Sometimes the ball just kind of floats when it's going into the wind like that. And as a goalkeeper, you mistime the jump just a little bit, and all of a sudden you're on your way back down, and the ball's still up in the air like that.
Yep.
Nicole Freeze with the ball now. Red Stars defending in bunches, surrounded by 4 different Red Stars players. Now with the ball at midfield for Chicago. Looking to play the ball in. Glory defense is there again. Doing well right now just to get in the way again. And there's a long through ball to the corner. Carey with the cross. Cruz does well to deflect it away before the cross could be completed to Bezoric. And out of bounds for Chicago's first corner kick of the night.
And again, they're using that same kind of play that they've used the last time we played against them. They're coming up right on their left side and trying to make that back post run and then try to get it in from there.
Corner kick played in. Ball bounces all the way through. Red Stars are the first ones on it. Ball's played back in towards the top of the 18. Glory looking to step. Maybe get a counter going here. Ball played out to Milky. It's going to be a foot race for Jackie to get there. And it runs out of bounds. Weeks was there with the throw for the Red Stars. To Phillips now. Red Star with the long through ball over the top, like we talked about earlier. She was on sides, and LeCount does very well to get to the ground and make that first save. Coming out again after the rebound. Ashley did very well there off of her line. Ball still not cleared. Bezoric again looking for the cross. Ball still bouncing around inside the Glory box. With a nice turn. Bezoric taken toward the end line. Cross again. Like you said, Miranda looking for that back post runner. And ball is finally cleared away. Jackie Melke neatly chested to the floor. Glory looking for a bit of a counter. Red Stars back on defense. Win the ball there. Hernandez now carrying into the Glory half. Schultz to Gemza. All the way across to Cruz. Looking for that window. Gemza being pressured by Hernandez. All the way across to Schultz. Glory happy to keep the ball in possession now, just looking. There's a long through ball across. Back to Cruz. We're into the 8th minute now. And there's the first free kick of the day, and looks like a yellow card will be coming. Can't quite see who got the card there. Looks like it was Skylar Prentice with the yellow, 8th minute. Earning a free kick for the Red Stars. Long ball played in over the top, and LeCount off of her line to field it. Red Stars had a couple of players in the area, but Ashley LeCount did well to get off of her line and pluck that ball out of the air. A big boot.
The wind definitely helps with that too.
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely take that to your advantage. Like, try to get your forward up top and try to boot it up as far as you can to try to get that 1v1 situation with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, with the wind, playing on the field turf like this, you know the ball's going to take a good bounce if it's allowed to hit. You might just be able to catch somebody in the defense sleeping. Ball played all the way out here to the near side for Carey. A long cross to the middle. Gemza does well to just step in the way of it. Ball not quite clear. Freeze gives it away, but wins it right back. To Jackie Melke, back to Freeze. Good idea, just not quite completing the pass like we were looking for. Labovic to Weeks. Red Stars looking for those long balls over the top early. There's another one. Well done by Cruz. All the way out to Schultz. Krupa now. The right idea, Glory. They're looking for that long over the top pass, just like what we've seen from Chicago. Neatly flicked on by Prentice. Weeks is going to be the first one there to the ball for the Red Stars. She takes a touch. Ball still in. Messner there. Freeze now with the ball. To Prentice. Out of bounds, Glory throw. Singstock gives way to Schultz. Glory threatening with the deep throw in here. Unable to find Glory feet on that throw. Ball out of bounds for a Red Stars throw. Over the top of the defense there. And again, looking for that long ball through. LeCount does well to come off of her line quickly. Schultz now on the near side. Unable to find the feet. Glory thought the ball was out of bounds, and a couple of players stopped. Lucky to win possession back there, if only for the moment. Red Star still threatening. The wind kind of held the ball up there. Ashley LeCount thought it was coming all the way to her, and it just kind of floated like we've been talking about. First substitute of the night for the Green Bay Glory. Weeks with the ball. Freeze does well to pressure. Labovic with Prentice all over. Out wide to Carey now. Playing that long ball over the top. We've seen her play a couple of different times. Off of Gemza's head and fielded by LeCount. And that, like you mentioned, seems to be the intended attack for the Chicago Red Stars. Playing that ball over the top, hoping to set somebody loose 1v1 against the defense or against the goalie.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little different from the last time we played against them because they did everything was on the ground, and I think they're trying to use the wind to their advantage, and it's going to be hard for Ashley over there to read the ball while it's hanging, but second half it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and it's going to be more driven, and I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Nicole Freeze there with the first real chance for the Glory, making Bloomer make the save. Red Stars back quickly on attack now. Weeks looking to switch the field to Carey again. And the ball's out of bounds, just out of her reach. It'll be a throw in for the Green Bay Glory and a couple of more substitutes. Into the 14th minute now, 1-0 Red Stars. Glory have now conceded 2 quick goals here in their opening 2 matches at Capital Credit Union Park. You'd like to see the Glory be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side, but obviously that comes at the risk of exposing your defense. So now they will have to try to find a way to fight back into this game. Glory doing well, pressuring the ball in midfield. Phillips all the way across. Looking for Johnson, just pressed off the ball by Gemza. Cruz with big pressure on her back from Bezorek. Ball out of bounds, Glory goal kick.
I think I'm just realizing here that the Glory changed up their positioning a little bit. It looks like they're finally getting into a little bit more of attacking. They're in a 4-4-2 with Jackie and Freeze up on top. So let's hope that they get something up and connections going.
Absolutely. Red Stars still working that ball through midfield. Working the ball through Carey on the left side here. Ball off of her foot for a throw-in. Anna Boyd looks ready to take it. Gives it off to Schultz. Into the middle for Leck. Back to Boyd. Back to Schultz. Looking to play the ball over the top. She's got Milky. Running onto the ball with Weeks. Unable to get the ball to her feet. Weeks with a nifty tackle around Jackie to almost get it cleared. Able to find Carey, who again plays that long ball over the top, this time out of bounds for a Glory throw.
Yeah, see, once they started in that new positioning and formation, they definitely got that quick chance and definitely helping with that new positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of that extra pressure up top may open things up for the Glory. Cruz now being chased to the ball, and a shot there from Bezorek. LeCount does well to get down to the ground and make that save. Bezorek's definitely got some of that speed that we were talking about before the game, putting a lot of pressure on the Glory defense. Another big boot from LeCount. Ball won back quickly by the Glory. Out wide to Freeze now. Looking for that final pass in the attacking third to really get things started for the Glory. We've got Johnson now, one-on-one. Abby Gemza with a hard tackle, clean tackle. Both players went to the ground pretty hard there. And Gemza slow to get up.
It was like a weird fall. She kind of like fell kind of backwards, and might be something with like her hip or tailbone. No one likes a bruised tailbone.
Yeah, you never like to see any sort of injury, and especially with this field turf, the way your cleats can get caught in it sometimes makes things just a little bit difficult. Trainer's going to look at Abby now, hoping she's all right.
Yeah, I'm just glad that the weather is holding off a little bit. It's super nice, and thought it was supposed to rain. So, like, wet turf, no one wants to play on that either.
No, absolutely. Ball will skip on wet field turf like this. But it is a beautiful night at Capital Credit Union Park. Still plenty of seats available, plenty of time to get out here for the game. We're in the 18th minute now, 1-0 Chicago Red Stars. And we've got the goal scorers here for you now. DiFilippo scored the goal with the assist from Johnson. So there's your difference right now in this game. As we see Abby Gemza being helped to her feet. Looks like she's going to try to walk it off. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. She's one of our stronger defenders back there, and hopefully we see her back out later.
Yeah, you never like to see injuries at any point in time in the game, but especially early. Hopefully that gives her a chance to work her way back into the game. As we get ready to get things restarted here. Morgan Reinhardt coming in to replace Abby Gemza. Definitely experienced defender. She moves all the way out here to the right side.
So they changed it up a little bit. Morgan's usually never a center back, so they put her on the outside. Krupa's still where she is, and then they pulled Messner from the center and pulled her back and put Scholes all the way on the other side.
Yeah, adjustments on the fly there when the player goes down. Reinhardt does well there to win the ball back. Glory defense just looking to get the ball out, and does. Jackie Melke flicks it on for Nicole Freeze, unable to get there before Weeks. But those two up top are definitely keeping the pressure on the Red Stars defense.
Yeah, for sure. They're pretty. They bring a big presence out on top, and it can be very intimidating.
Red Stars now with the ball at midfield. Hannah Leck working back all the way to the count. Clears towards the middle. Freeze recovers it for a moment. Anna Boyd also there. Freeze out wide to Boyd. Able to keep it in. Carey steps in front of her, but Boyd gets the ball back. Anna Boyd does well to win a throw-in for the Green Bay Glory. Reinhardt up to take it quick. Boyd pressuring into the corner. Number 18, Johnson, plays the ball over the top there to Hernandez. All the way into the 18-yard box. Messner does well to harass and just stay in front of her, get her foot on the ball and clear that ball away. Well done by the defense there for Green Bay Glory. Quick throw now. Reinhardt to Leck. Good turn. Finds Messner. Glory trying to work up the far sideline there. See another substitution for the Green Bay Glory. And a Glory throw on the far side in front of the Red Stars bench. Throw to Leck. Schultz over the top looking towards Boyd. Hannah Boyd just unable to get a touch on it. To Hernandez. Through midfield. Red Stars working the ball into the box now. Hernandez, LeCount, and well done by Reinhardt. Picked the ball off the back line and sent it out for a corner kick.
Yeah, and that's definitely what the defender's for, to help out the goalkeeper when they can't see the ball or just can't get there.
Yeah, Reinhardt did well there to keep the ball out of the Glory net. Got a Red Stars corner. Again with the wind at the back. In swinger towards the 6-yard box. Ball bounces. Finds Red Star feet. Played out wide to Carey. And unable to get there, that'll be a Glory goal kick. That was that dangerous left side looking for that cross again, like we've seen the Red Stars do multiple times this evening so far. Boyd with the first touch. Unable to corral it, but she gets the ball back. Out of bounds for a Glory throw. Glory defense has definitely settled in the last few minutes after the early awkward shot found its way to the back of the net. Hernandez at the top. Loses the ball, but advantage will be played for the Glory. Jackie Melke just unable to connect on that pass. Labovic with the interception and then loses it out of bounds for a Green Bay throw-in. With the long throw, and again, out of bounds, just working up the sideline now for the Glory. Take throw-ins all the way to the corner if they let you. Ball all the way back to LeCount now. She's being pressured. Working the ball up the far sideline now, trying to connect with Melke, unable to. And that ball will be allowed to roll all the way to Bloomer. Gathers it, quickly throws it out to Phillips. To Carey now. Looking for that long ball again. Played over the top. Messner was there to win that back for the Glory. To Leck. Labovic through the middle. That time no Red Stars players making the runs. LeCount off of her line to play it back out. Switch the field to Schultz. To Melke. Just unable to get to that touch. Ball kind of stuck to her foot and just stopped right there. And she was swarmed by Red Stars players who were able to come away with the possession.
Yeah, that humidity, it can help with the stickiness. So in a goalkeeper perspective, you kind of want that stickiness so you can grab that ball real tight and it won't go anywhere.
Here's LeCount with a big boot. Red Stars able to win that first touch. A couple of Glory players collide there, and Hernandez comes away with it. A free shot on goal. LeCount does well. Ball was right at her. Does well to field that ball, and another save. Out to Messner. To Schultz. Into Leck. Unable to turn. And Johnson gives it away. It'll be a Glory throw in right in front of their own bench as we've got another substitution coming. Phillips. Lebovic in the middle. Back to Phillips. The Red Stars seem to have rotated a little bit on the defense as well, switching Weeks and Phillips. Gary Giocaris. Sorry, Baxter, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Back.
No, thank you very much. Glad to be back. It seems almost like the Glory have switched to a 2-forward system as well with Siegel and Boyd now up top. We know Siegel can play multiple positions, but forward is one of the spots that she does occupy when she plays for UW Parkside. I do believe we've got Greg Bintz ready to rock and roll finally. We have not been leaving him out of the broadcast, but I think he is able to rock and roll now with all the tech issues. So, Greg, a very good Friday night to you, sir. How are you tonight?
Evening, Baxter. I appreciate the.
Oh, you still? We got you. We got you. You're good. Ball swung
Can
in
you guys
for a
hear me?
moment.
No.
Yes, we can hear you, Greg. Keep going. We had you there for a moment. We'll have to come back to him, but it's all good. We are still fighting with tech issues with Greg. Not a big deal. We will get back to him soon. We don't want to deprive people of Greg's knowledge down on the sidelines, but we have a feeling that there's just some issues we'll continue to work out. So not a big deal. It's only the second game of the season for us, Pat, as we are here in the broadcast booth. So still working out some kinks, just like other teams can be doing as well at this point in the season. 1-0 in favor of the Red Stars after that very early goal, but things have leveled out a little bit more from what I've seen and from what I've gathered at least. The optimism of the fans is still very high as well, which is really great to hear. Every time the Glory have a good play or one of the Glory players touch the ball, the fans erupt, which is awesome to see. So good support on a good Friday night. Beautiful weather, too. Red Stars with an opportunity. Ball played right to the awaiting hands of Ashley LeCount. Not as many dangerous shots from the Red Stars. They've been putting shots on frame, Pat, but nothing nearly as potent as that first redirected ricochet goal early on.
Yeah, Ashley's done well in positioning herself. Most of these shots have been right to her. She's really done well in the goal. Just that one miscommunication, misstep on her part. The ball kind of floated in the wind like we talked about and just stayed up probably a little longer than she expected and found its way to the back of the net.
30 minutes played here at Capitol Park. Mackenzie Scholes with a great interception on that ball played through. Now as they look to counter, up to Anna Boyd. Boyd with a good touch up the field, trying to catch the Red Stars defense sleeping, but a great recovery from the defense. Red Stars do a really good job of spreading the field. I noticed this down when we were in Chicago as well, Miranda. It was fascinating to see just how well they spread it. Opportunity for the Red Stars deep inside the box. LeCount closing it off. Ball still available. Shot and a goal for the Red Stars. LeCount nearly got back after that first miscommunication, and it is 2-0 in favor of the Red Stars after 31 minutes. A great individual effort from the Red Stars attacker as she weaved her way through. Had Reinhardt here on the near side and then cut back across with the fake shot to initially freeze LeCount and then move around her. Not much you can do from a goalkeeper's perspective on that side, Miranda.
Yeah, I think what Ashley could have done, though, was to try to guide her, turn her hips a little bit, make it seem like the near post was her first option instead of trying to weave around. And just the little things, just to make it more deceiving that, hey, come to my near post, but you technically have it all blocked off with one easy dive.
Well, that makes it 2-0 after 31 minutes. It was 2-0 at halftime down in Chicago in the first half, and then 3 more goals were added late in the second half. So lots to still be played for the Glory, although they are down 2-0. They've been in this position before. They know how to rally. They know that they're at the home venue tonight, which is helpful for just continuing to have that constant cheer anytime they touch the ball as well.
Yeah, and Baxter, to be able to play those balls over the top like we just saw there, you might be able to catch the defense or the goalie sleeping there, and all you need is one break. And Anna Boyd or Jackie Melke or Kaylee Siegel, any of those offensive players are going to be able to get on that ball and get a shot on frame.
And one thing that they are missing tonight is that long shot of Trudy Kwidzinski. Spoke to her briefly before the game started, and she said that she's just fighting a small leg injury. Should be back for Sunday's game. Opportunity for the Red Stars again. Ball at the top of the 6 with a creative shot. That goes out of bounds. What a unique way to try to put a shot on frame as it just misses the near post as the count watches it go by.
Yeah, it was like a weird like reverse bikes. Like it looked so weird, but it looked pretty cool actually.
That's how you get creative in a very tight space. There are bodies all over the place, and that Red Stars player was able to just find that. Sometimes you don't even need a foot. You just need a half an inch sometimes, or just a couple inches to just contort your body in such a way. And especially when you're so close to the goal, if you can redirect the ball, sometimes the goalie will be caught flat-footed and can't get there in time.
Yeah, anytime the ball's bouncing around like that anywhere near the 6-yard box, it takes a deflection off of anybody and anything. Any way it can go in for the offensive players, all they're looking for at that point.
One thing I was just realizing as we watched the game, you talked about the height of the Red Stars early in the match. With Siegel in the game, she offers that 5'10", I believe, 5'11" frame of her. She can look me in the eyes, and I'm 6 feet tall. So I definitely think that that's something, if you can see the Glory do, we're not typically the type of team that will do a lot of high crosses into the box, but when you've got such a tall player, reminds me of the Peter Crouch days of England, Pat, where you would just see those balls served in, served in, served in. When you've got such a tall target standing in the box, might be a unique and alternative way for the Glory to move the ball forward.
Yeah, she's got to be like one of the tallest people on our team, and me coming in second with it being at 5'8", so we have a pretty short team.
Shaylin Jared down on the field for a moment for the Glory, receiving some treatment on the side. We're going to step aside just for a brief moment. We are 2-0 here at Capitol Park in favor of the visiting Chicago Red Stars reserves. You're watching Green Bay Glory Soccer on YouTube and on 11sports.com. Stay with us.
And we're back with a drop kick for the Glory in the 36th minute now. So we've seen a couple of injuries go down for the Glory. Hopefully everybody's okay. Red Stars looking to attack again. Glory defending in numbers. Carey into the corner. Ball played in. LeCount does well to come off of her line and get to that ball before anybody else. And another big boot for LeCount. Over the midfield line. Won by Leck off the head. Into Weeks. Anna Boyd applying the pressure. Phillips carrying the ball to midfield. Jasaniak with the ball. Long over the top. LeCount comes all the way off of her line, and a shot just wide of the far post. That ball traveled all the way across the face of the goal. LeCount did well to get out and just bother the shooter enough to force that ball wide. Ashley was in a little bit of no man's land there with the ball kind of played just to the 18. She had to make a decision whether or not she was going to stay home or go and get it. And She went for it and got lucky there that that ball stayed wide. Ball played in now. Glory defense does well just to get in front. Out to Anna Boyd, who's immediately harassed. Chicago Red Stars defense playing very high. Anna Boyd a little slow to get up there. She seems okay. A couple of subs now for each team. It'll be a Glory throw in front of their own bench.
You're 38 minutes in at this point, Pat and Miranda, and we've seen the Red Stars' resurgence, especially after that second goal. It kind of seems like they're getting a little bit more gutsy, I guess. Not that they haven't taken chances, but they seem to feel like they've got the Glory on their heels a little bit more, so they've really kind of come at the Glory defense these last couple of moments and made LeCount's night a little bit more busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can definitely sense a little bit of the blood in the water, so to speak, and they are keeping the pressure on right now.
Great ball played down the near side. Krupa there and plays good cleanup. Earns applause from the hometown faithful.
Krupa does well again there to dispossess the Red Stars in the box, avoid drawing a foul, and
good shot to the near post. LeCount had it covered, but the Red Stars once again hunting. Another substitute opportunity here for the Glory. Anna Boyd will check out of the ball game, and Nicole Fries will step in. Glory seem to have adopted more of that two-forward system as Fries and Melky will play the forward roles. Skylar Prentice, Lauren Singstock, Hannah Leck, and Mackenzie August out on the field. Katie Schmidt, Bree Messner, Maddie Cruz, and Hannah Krupa, rounded up by Ashley LeCount in the goal right now. Prentice's pass just a little too heavy for August on the near side. One of the storylines that's always fun anytime these two teams meet. This is Mackenzie August's former team. She spent a couple of seasons down in Chicago, a native of Chicago as well. She will always be the first one to remind you that she is a Chicago native. Ball free in the box. Krupa just as far as the top of the 18.
Red Stars doing well now on the attack. Ball played in. LeCount on the ground. Lucky that the Red Star player tried to kind of back heel flick it towards the far post. Katie Schmidt was there to make sure it wasn't going anywhere close to the goal. It's a tough situation as a goalie there once you've gone to ground to regain your feet and get back to playing the position, especially when the ball just kind of bounces around there.
Yeah, all the thing is like once you're down, it's your focus that I got to get back up. I got to get set in front of it. But if the play happens too fast, then there's really nothing much you can do besides depend and trust on your defense.
Yeah, once you're focused on getting back up, it's easy to lose track of the ball. Ball into the corner now. Katie Schmidt still playing defense over there. Ball stayed in, and Cruz cleared it away almost to midfield. Nicole Fries there harassing. Red Stars right back in. Cruz does well to win the ball away for a Red Stars throw-in.
Glory hoping just to not have any more goals conceded before the halftime break. I think a 2-0 lead going into half is what the goalie would prefer. Obviously, they'd love to sneak one in if they could, but at the same time, if you can reduce any sort of extra damage before the halftime break. Wayward shot coming from the Red Stars. Ball still at the top of the 18. Messner only as far as Prentice, who has an opportunity. Finding Fries, now a chance for the Glory to counterattack. August on the near side. That ball knocked out for a throw-in as the Glory look to continue to move forward. They had numbers for a moment, but now the Red Stars doing a good job of slowing down the pace. Fries, double teaming with August, trying to weave through traffic. Red Stars win it back and reset in their own half. And the Red Stars will escape the immediate pressure. High floating ball down the near side. Schmidt, can she get there? She does, only as far as it will be a goal kick. Took a touch off a Red Stars player at the last moment.
Katie Schmidt did really well there to be the first one to get to the ball, get that first touch.
Kelsey Selden checking in the game for the Glory. She will replace number 21, Hannah Leck. Selden, one of the new players this season for the Glory. She has done a great job of just bringing non-stop energy, I think is the best way to describe Selden. She has a smile on her face 24/7, just a big personality, and has definitely fit into this Glory family very well.
Yeah, you definitely know when she's coming. You know, everyone can recognize her just by her laugh.
Her and Abby Gemza, I would say, win the MVPs for most energy on the team on any given basis. I feel like both of them are just large and in charge, just such big personalities with big smiles on their face. We hope to get an update about Gemza at some point once we can get Greg back on the sidelines. I believe she's still with the trainer after that knock that she took. Jared has also not returned. We'll see if Shaylin can maybe get back out on the field. Gemza on the bench from our vantage point with her shoe off. Ice on, it looks like, one part of her leg. So her night could be done, especially if she's icing at this point. Opportunity for the Red Stars in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Weaving through the defense. Ball is won nicely by Krupa. All ball, no foul. The ref says play on.
Yeah, great tackle by Krupa there just to stick her foot in, get the ball. She didn't dive for it. She just, like you said, Baxter, all ball. Clean tackle.
This one played up the field. Red Stars once again resetting all the way back to their keeper.
And Baxter, they seem to be comfortable doing that. It seems to be drawing the Glory defense up just a little bit, which allows for that window for the long over-the-top pass that we've seen from Carey so many times here on the near side.
Yeah, and they got a lot of fast forwards up top. So even if like our whole defense goes up, there's a chance that we could get beat right over the top just by a nice run-on ball.
It's definitely something we'll have to watch in the second half when the Red Stars move to the wind at their back.
Krupa tracking over to clear this one out, trying to win it back. And she does, out for a throw-in. Inside 1 minute of regulation before the halftime break. Like to expect at least maybe 2 minutes of stoppage time due to two different injuries from Jared and from Gemza. Great ball to the far side. Red Stars attacking, swung through, only as far as Messner, who does a good job of cleaning it up and getting to Singstock on the far side. Resetting. Now Cruz. Over to Messner. Messner, a Swiss Army knife of a player, can play center back, but prefers to play more of that center holding mid. And a foul awarded in favor of the Red Stars in the dying moments of the first half. Coming up at halftime, Mandy Wilkie, Ashley Grant, and Linda Vance will give us their thoughts on the first half as they will break down all the action. 2 goals in favor of the Red Stars. So we will look forward to hearing from those ladies and their analysis on what they thought of our Friday night fun here at Capitol Park. We appreciate you joining us wherever you might be watching from. High lofted free kick in. Only cleared his top of the 18. A chested down ball to the near side. Lasered ball across, blocked away by Krupa. And Prentice launches it up the field. We'll see if Freeze can get there in a foot race. Freeze still battling. Opportunity, no help around her. Can she find something? She finds Melky for a moment, and Melky has a bad touch and loses it. But Selden recovers for a moment. That might have been the Glory's best chance that they've been able to string 2 more passes together. Singstock in heavy pursuit on the far side.
Yeah, Melky just a little unlucky there with a heavy touch right there. Referee was kind of in between her and Nicole Freeze on that pass back and just unable to control it.
I've been in that situation as a forward. You get almost too excited because you can see the play in your head. You're like, great, if I receive the ball here, I turn, I've got the space, and then you're already 7 steps ahead, and then the ball hasn't got to you, and then your foot is like, oh, forgot how to play soccer for a second, and then it just, you lose it, and then you go. But That's the hard part, because you try to think ahead, obviously, as a soccer player, as an athlete as a whole, you try to think of what's my next step, but it has to be sometimes be more instinctive as opposed to thinking about it, because that's when the thinking happens is when mistakes happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just one step after another. Take it one at a time.
And there is the halftime whistle at Capitol Park. 2-0 our score. An early goal for the Red Stars off a deflection, and then a great finish in the 31st minute by the Red Stars. That's how we have a 2-0 score. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it will be time for Mandy Wilkie, Ashley Grant, and Linda Vance. We are live at Capitol Park. It's a Friday night soccer match between the Glory and the Red Stars. Back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Testing. I can hear myself.
Welcome back to Green Bay Glory Soccer. I'm Baxter Colburn. A 2-0 score at the halftime break in favor of the visiting Chicago Red Stars reserves. It is time now to head over to our studio team, hosted by Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, and Ashley Grant. Take it away, Mandy and company. What do you got for us here at the halftime break?
All right, and we are back, and we are at halftime. And let's talk a little bit about recapping what we've seen in the first half. The Glory is behind 2-0. Let's break that down a little bit, ladies.
You want to start, or you want me to start?
We're down 2-0, but it was a well-fought first half comparatively with that first game. The way that we were able to compact this game, stay in our position, stay in that formation, there was a big difference. This game, how dangerous they were when they received the ball. Their time was taken away, and we had a really good fight. And I think the second half, we've got a good potential of getting one of those goals back, if not two.
Yeah, we definitely saw a 4-4-2 for most of the half, which was nice to see. And I think the Red Stars really play a very wide game, and the goal there is to really pull the other team out of position. But the Glory really played smart and kept their shape, like you said. I think it was really a good first half for both teams. And I think I'm impressed with the Glory. I mean, there was a goal early in that 2-minute mark, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, solid play for a lot of it. Not a lot of attack, but at least some very contained pressure when needed to get the ball back into possession. So I thought it was a good first half.
Let's talk about what tonight looks like playing against the Red Stars versus the last time we saw them. And maybe even a little bit, Linda, if you want to touch on the difference between tonight and the last home game. Let's break that down a little bit.
Like I said in the first little bit here, that first time we played against them, they had a lot of space. They were able to kind of pull us out of position. We had a hard time figuring out what was going on in the middle. They were over-flooding the number of people through the middle, and we were reacting most of the game last time we played them. So tonight, seeing our team, the plan that we put into place, contracting, everyone sucking into that middle, knowing exactly where marks are, the communication's better. We're playing a much better game, a much smarter game, and hopefully the second half we can use those smarts, we can take that breath, and we can start pushing forward a little bit more, being a little more aggressive on the attack.
Yeah, these are your girls, but they look calm tonight.
Yeah.
Do you feel that too? Like, I mean, they're poised and ready to play, but they take the field and they're not like reacting under pressure, which I'm really liking to see. Versus maybe the Torrent game was a little bit different, little maybe jitters for their first home game, but this one they're taking their home field and they're calm and in control, and I think the communication definitely improved as the first half played out. So it was really, there's some good things and a lot of wins in this first half for the
I
Glory.
feel like it's a little bit of a patient play tonight. It doesn't seem like it's super aggressive one way or the other. One thing that we noticed is the Glory seems to be a little more on the defensive end tonight. So let's talk to what that looks like when you're playing against a team like the Red Stars.
Still keeping that defensive shape. I mean, that's the main thing we've been going through. This team is dynamic. They receive that ball, they dribble at you hard. It is dangerous. They suck you in. That next player becomes open. So our girls are really focused on keeping that formation, allowing and trusting each other and saying, hey, you've got to get back. You've got to mark this girl. I'm going to trust you to get back. I'm going to stick with my girl. And it's been working. We've been doing a really great job of keeping with those marks.
Yeah, I would say we're playing out of the backfield. The Glory's playing out of the backfield very well and in control, which is nice to see. Any little mistake, though, Chicago's on it. I mean, they are on it. Very, very sharp team, very quick passes. So, the more the Glory can control and communicate in the second half, I think we're going to see some very good, solid soccer in the second half for sure.
I want to be really careful how I phrase this because you never want to talk about women being massive. But let's break down just a little bit the size of this team. We've been talking a little bit as we're watching them. These girls are solid ladies, and they're tall ladies. And so talk a little bit about the size difference out there. I know speed has a lot to do with it, but when you're coming up against someone that's maybe taking up a little more field space than you are, what does that feel like?
There's a lot of height on the Red Stars, and
it's a much nicer way to put it.
There's a lot of height out there. Any ball that's coming in out of the air is going to be more difficult, but we just got to be smart, and you're going to play against girls that are taller than you, different, speeds, different shapes, whatever, and you just have to kind of acclimate to what you're playing against and know exactly how to move your body in order to get the best out of it.
Yeah, they've got a long stride, that's for sure. I mean, and when they turn those jets on, they're fast and they're hard
Linda,
to catch.
you used to be a keeper.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about the action on the net tonight. With the Glories had obviously a little bit more time defending. And then the size of the keeper for the Red Stars, too. We've noticed her presence at the net. She hasn't had much action, but let's talk about that.
She hasn't had much action, but she's tall. She's good with her feet. I mean, they're using her in defensive plays to kind of open the field back up. But, yeah, Ashley has really first half has been impressive. I mean, you know, 2-0 is nothing against a team like this, and I think she's really had a lot of good saves, good positioning in the first half. So.
What do you look forward to seeing in the second half, and what would you do differently if you had the opportunity to get down there and being the instructor on the field tonight?
Second half, I want to see that calm control, fewer mistakes, better connecting of the passes, and give that goalie a test.
Absolutely. Grip it and rip it, ladies. We got to start taking those shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm excited to see what the Glory and the Red Stars are bringing for the second half of the game. So we're going to turn it back over to Baxter, and he's going to bring some more recap to you.
Grip it and rip it, the theme of the second half, I think, from Ashley Grant. Can't wait to see if that will end up being the case. We are excited to continue on with the broadcast tonight. A big thank you to everyone that continues to make everything happen tonight. We've got a lot of different things happening here, not only in the stadium, but also on the broadcast. So if you are watching, we appreciate you taking the time, and we definitely are excited for our next broadcast coming up on Sunday, a 6 p.m. game against the Chicago Dutch Lions. The pregame starts at 5:30, so if you are not able to be here in person, we would hope to have you join us live on the stream. Miranda, we look at this first half. You hear from the analysts there a little bit. Grip it and rip it seems to be the theme of the second half for the Glory. What are you expecting from the Glory as we get ready for half number 2?
To try to test that goalkeeper a little bit and try to make some connecting passes up top. And whenever those midfielders that we have out there, like Hannah Leck and you know, maybe Messner, if they put her up a bit, get those long balls and try to chip that goalkeeper. And especially, I mean, Ashley LeCount struggled with it in the first half with the hanging ball, so they got the wind right at their face. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. The nighttime sky is here at Capitol Park. We start to see the clouds rolling in a little bit more. The wind has picked up. Second half just about to kick off here at Capitol Park. We'll be right back with the second half. Stay tuned. You are watching Glory Soccer on YouTube and 11sports.com.
And welcome back to Capital Credit Union Park for the Green Bay Glory version of Friday Night Lights. Getting started here, second half action in just a moment, down 2-0. Miranda, what do you think the Glory have to do here in the second half to get at least one on the board or maybe draw level?
You know, definitely like what I said before, we just need to make some connecting passes and try to challenge that goalkeeper. And definitely try to take those long shots. Like, even if we can't get it all the way up into the 18 or all the way up there, take the long shot and just make sure it's on frame.
Absolutely. We saw those long passes work well for the Red Stars in the first half. Now with the wind in their face, it'll be interesting to see how the Glory choose to attack the game. Red Stars possessing the ball early on the far side, working that right-hand side of the Green Bay Glory defense. Krupa there to clear it away. Red Stars with the long throw into the 18. Looking for the cross. Prentice there to clear it away momentarily. Red Stars regain possession. Red Stars still with the long ball in over the top. And it will go out for a Chicago corner kick. Red Stars with some early pressure here in the second half.
Corner kick for the Red Stars.
Glory defense will be put to task early. Wind seems to have died down a little bit, maybe even almost changing directions. Bouncing ball low to the ground. The count off of her line well. Ball bounced off of her knee, it looked like, but she's able to cover it.
It was a good thing that the Red Stars weren't there to pressure up on it, because otherwise they will punish you for having any type of small mistake.
Cruz now being pressured to Messner. Lots of pressure up early from the Red Stars. Ball bouncing around, flicked on. An interesting opportunity there for the Red Stars from Hernandez from the top of the 18. The count coming off of her line to collect the ball. Luckily, the ball played high over the goal. Out of bounds for a Green Bay Glory goal kick. Like you mentioned, Miranda, punishing for any small mistake with a team of this quality is going to be right in your face. And if you flinch for just a second, they're going to make you pay.
Yeah, it can take place anywhere on the field. Like even like the smallest mistake that happens up on in a forward position, and but in the goalkeeper position, any type of little mistake that you make can result into a goal.
Yeah, positions in the box, or mistakes in the box rather, are definitely magnified. Freeze now pressuring the ball up top. Phillips plays it wide. Red Stars attacking early. Ball carried into the corner and played out of bounds by Carey for a Chicago Red Stars corner. Second of the half already. Played quickly and short. Back to Carey, and the offside flag is up. Glory defense did well there on the short corner to step up and force that offsides play.
Yeah, they played that quick from the corner and just trying to get Glory on their toes a little bit. And definitely what we need to do is be on your toes and constantly focus. We got to keep that focus.
Yeah, you heard Ashley LeCount immediately yelling, step, step, trying to get that defense up to create that offside situation. Ball played over the top. Leck with the first touch. Out of bounds. Red Star throwing right at midfield. Ball flicked on now. Glory players just happy to let it run. Red Stars get all the way to it, but not before the ball goes out of bounds. Glory players not quite communicating to the level you'd like to see there. Four players just kind of watching the ball. Red Stars not content to watch the ball. Almost got to it and made something of it.
Speaking of making something of nothing, Greg Vince, hopefully ready to rock and roll now down on the sidelines. He's got some information for us as far as first half thoughts and analysis. Greg, good evening for the first time, hopefully.
Good evening, Baxter. Quick injury update. Trudy Kwidzinski, she has a quad injury. It's unknown whether it's her quad. It's already been recommended by the that she doesn't play Sunday versus the Dutch Lions. You guys have talked about the weather times. The breeze is nice down here. It's very comfortable, especially compared to the last one. Almost 90 degrees outside, and it was over 100 degrees down here on the turf. Now, that the score is 2-0 Chicago. It was 2-0 last time when these two teams played, but Chicago was 3 goals in the final 6 or so of that game. 5-0. It's going to be interesting to see what defensive adjustments the Glory make and what offensive adjustments they make to maybe make this even a tighter game. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Greg Vince, down on the sidelines for us this evening. Red Stars with a very aggressive run of play there the last few moments. Hard tackle on Hannah Krupa. Referee said play on. Looked like it was all ball. So it's hard to tell it, but it was anytime, even if it is a slide tackle from behind, regardless if you get the all ball, that still is a time that the ref usually will still blow the whistle just to kind of send a message saying, hey, let's be careful here. We're not trying to break anybody's ankles.
Well, yeah, it's definitely like a blindside play, and we definitely want to make sure everyone stays safe.
And that's a call that will usually come at any level, regardless if it's rec soccer or up in the higher echelons of UEFA and the World Cup.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see that play in rec soccer, though.
Yeah, that would start a fight if that happened in rec soccer. I've seen it a couple of times. Opportunity for the Red Stars here. Shot from distance. LeCount lets it skip nicely into her hands. You have to think as well as you look at the Glory, you look at the players sitting on the bench right now, will you see Brianna Frontudo tonight as well? We saw her feature in the late half of the second half when Chicago and Green Bay played the first time. Potentially see her tonight, depending on where the score is at, but LeCount right now trying to ride it out, especially since it is still a close game. The Glory obviously still trying to find a way to get at least one goal on the board and kind of take it one step at a time from there.
Yeah, Baxter, we talk all the time about how a 2-0 goal is the most dangerous lead in sports, and if the Glory can find a way to get that first goal on the board and earn some of this momentum and just build into the second half.
Shaylin Jarrett back out on the field for the Glory after sustaining a first half injury. Still moving a little gingerly. You could tell that she kind of took her time there on that last move as she was looking for her pass. Not sure if it was an ankle injury or what the issue might have been. Jackie Milkey back out on the field as Lauren Singstock will go and sit down for a little while. Fans still very rowdy here at Capitol Park as time continues to press on. And this 2-0 game thus far in favor of the visiting Chicago Red Stars. As a reminder, we've got another game coming up for you on Sunday. Green Bay Glory welcome in the Chicago Dutch Lions. Dutch Lions, a new team to the WPSL this season. The Glory.
Great save by LeCount there.
Glory have already featured once against the Dutch Lions this season, which resulted in a 3-1 loss down in Chicago. Trudy Kwidzinski with the PK goal late on in that match. 53 minutes played here at Capitol Park. 2-0 Red Stars in the lead. Goal in the 3rd minute off a ricochet, and a goal in the 31st minute off of a great individual effort weaving through the Glory defense and beating LeCount. Red Stars very much on the offensive once again. Hannah Leck fighting hard. Shaylin Jarrett tries to come over for the double team, and they win the ball back. Now to Freeze. Freeze fighting Melky. Good move from her, has it stolen away. Red Stars back on the attack again. Ball slicing through the defense, but it skips all the way through out of bounds. Goal kick in favor of the Glory. Miranda, I'm always curious about this from just an onlooker. When you have a goal kick, do you prefer to take your goal kicks, or do you always have somebody else take them for you?
I usually take my own, so that I have like more people out on the field and more options to spread out the opposing team. And I think I lived with Ashley, and we've talked about it a couple of times, and I've asked her like why she has someone else take her goal kicks, and especially with the wind coming at her right at her face, she just feels like she doesn't kick it far enough. So might as well have someone else kick it and make it more beneficial for the team.
We've got an update on Abby Gemza from Greg Binns. Let's go down to Greg and see what we've got. Greg, what's the latest on Gemza?
Yeah, that's right, Baxter. I do have an injury update. It is a right leg injury for Abby. They have not determined whether it's a quad injury or a hamstring injury yet, but it is indeed a right leg injury for Abby Gemza.
Thank you very much, Greg. So Gemza's night is done, and you'd like to think probably not available for the match on Sunday. Whether that is a quad or a hamstring, two things you don't really want to mess around with. And as Greg was saying as well, Kwidzinski also will not be featured on Sunday. So those are two critical pieces of your infrastructure, not only at defense and at midfield, missing for two very important games. Every game's important, but especially late in the season, you're still trying to capture any points and goals that you can, and being able to not have both of those ladies at your disposal certainly makes it interesting.
Well, and especially with that quick turnaround like what we've got playing today and again on Sunday, you'd hate to make a small injury worse by getting back out on it too early and, just exacerbating things.
56 minutes played at Capitol Park. We welcome you in wherever you might be joining us this evening. Baxter Colburn, Pat Cole, Miranda Neiman here in the booth. Greg Bintz down on the sidelines. Camera guys tonight, Eric and Gary and Jacob. Big shout out to all three of them. Anna, our producers, holding it down for us. Social media team is doing a great job. Linda Vance, Ashley Grant, Mandy Wilkie, our studio team tonight here at Capitol Park. We'll be all right back here again on Sunday. 6 p.m. kickoff. 5:30 is when our stream starts. Pre-game show starts 25 minutes before kickoff. We hope you'll join us. I don't remember if it's this game or this coming Sunday game or not, Pat, but I think high school state champion head coach Todd Moss, I think, is going to be here for one of these games. And legendary goalkeeper of the Milwaukee Wave, Tony Pierce, will be joining us as well. So we are thrilled to have both of those gentlemen joining our studio team throughout the season, as we've got 3 games left following tonight's match.
Baxter, you're bringing in 2 guys that have forgotten more about soccer than I ever knew. So it'll be nice to have that kind of experience and just talent, view for the game in studio with us.
Absolutely right, yeah, and big hats off to Mandy Wilkie. She's done a phenomenal job. When we asked her at the beginning of the season, we said, hey, do you want to do this? She said, I know nothing about soccer. I said, but you know how to talk, and you're very good at that. And she said, okay, sign me up. So she's been phenomenal. So hats off to Mandy Wilkie, just a true professional with everything she does with her business as well through Ledgeview Living as well. So great to have her a part of what we're doing this season.
Baxter, there for the first time, you saw that long over-the-top ball played by the Glory. Just originating a little too deep, not quite over the top of the defense there, but definitely a promising thought, at least as far as the Glory offensive attack goes.
Scholes playing that right back position tonight. She can play outside mid. We've seen her featured as kind of an outside attacking forward as well, but tonight playing right back. Didn't know she had that in her arsenal, Miranda. Is that something that you've seen used more in practice, or what is the reasoning you would think from Scholes playing more of that right back?
Well, she's got a lot of speed, and she's very technical with the ball, and that's definitely what we need back there. And she's very good with her communication, and that's definitely all we need in the back right now.
Skylar Prentice receiving that pass from LeCount, helping reset. Now back to LeCount again to Messner. Messner on the near side, picking her head up, looking for options. Sprays it across to Krupa. Messner's done a great job sliding from that center defensive mid position back to center back with that injury to Gemza. Carrie Giocaris back out on the field now for the Glory as well.
Well done by Schultz there just to guide the ball out of bounds. Red Stars forward there was slicing through the defense and just made a couple of nifty moves to get around some people. LeCount was again in no man's land, not really able to come off of her line. Schultz did well just to step in front and guide that ball out of bounds. Cruz looking for that over-the-top ball to Milky. Unable to connect. Red Stars regain possession. Leck now with the ball to Freeze. Immediately met by the Red Stars defense. Very aggressive, very physical like we noted before the game, very fast. This is a Red Stars team with a lot of talent, a lot of expectations, nothing that the Glory are going to shy away from.
The Red Stars back in 2019, and the first time the Glory played their WPSL action did win the division. They look to be on a trajectory to do that thus far, but it does depend. They have yet to play FC Milwaukee Torrent this season, so first and second place battle will be coming up for both of those two in a couple of games. So they've got the Red Stars take on the Dutch Lions on the 7th of July, and then they will play the Torrent on the 10th and the 18th. So first place still very much up for grabs. Ball swung in. LeCount, no problem at all. Directing traffic. I think one of the most impressive parts about LeCount, if you meet her, she's not the tallest goalkeeper in the world, Miranda, but she is probably one of the most athletic, and just her personality, I think, adds a couple of inches to her game. I think she does such a great job commanding the presence of the box that it doesn't matter how tall she is, honestly. She does such a tremendous job back there.
I mean, yeah, for her being a mom and all, she's very good at.
Shot from free is, and that one go right into the keeper's awaiting hands, but still a good effort from about 23 yards out to the far post from Nicole Fries.
Yeah, and Baxter, we saw it right there with Prentice playing that little ball over the top, gave Fries some space to run into, and was able to get a good shot off. Glory's first real good look at the second half.
62 minutes played, 2-0 our score. Prentice losing the ball just for a moment. Now the Red Stars looking to try to move back through. In the final third, 5 players up, ball lofted into the box, header on frame, and that's a goal for the Red Stars. LeCount read it well, but just outside of her hands, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Red Stars. What a ball played in, and a finish to match.
Yeah, Jaskinek there with the cross in on the leading to that header there. She was open. Nobody really stepped in front of her. She just kind of had time to pick out the pass there and figure out where she wanted to go with it. And the Red Stars obviously able to capitalize. DiFilippo there, one of the taller players, kind of just found a spot in the middle of the box and was able to guide it into the back of the net past LeCount.
How hard is that ball watching it come in as a goalkeeper, Miranda? You see that ball flying in, and you know that you either have to go or you have to kind of wait, but there was that awkward maybe 3 or 4 yards between the player shooting the ball and LeCount, obviously. What is that? Is just an instinct at that moment? What do you do to watch that ball come in?
So if you already know, if like in that positioning, you can kind of expect the cross coming in. So you kind of look back towards your middle and see where everyone's positioned, and you don't need to keep your eyes locked on the ball. I mean, that's what I've been told, and I've been scored multiple times from because I kept my eyes locked on the ball that was outside, knowing that it was going to be a cross in. So you got to look over and see what your options are, and maybe take a couple steps back and be like on your line or like in the goal to give yourself a little bit more of reaction time.
Well, a goal that as easy as it may have looked, that was a very difficult pass to have been made by the Red Stars player, especially in such a tight space, to loft it between 2 different Glory players and then to have that ball headed to the near post. A very well executed ball. Kaylee Siegel now to Anna Boyd as the Glory look to try to respond. Boyd shoved down for a moment, keeps it alive, finds Selden on the far side, or Mackenzie August rather. In the final third, trying to earn a corner kick, and she does for the Glory.
Yeah, well done there by Boyd. Shouldered off the ball, was able to get back to her feet and win the ball right back and keep that attack going for Green Bay.
Hannah Leck will take the corner kick for the Glory. I believe this is their first one of the evening, if I've been keeping track.
Wrong, yeah.
Morgan Reinhardt checking in favor of Maddie Cruz. So a shift on the defensive side. Leck whipping a ball high into the box, available. Selden can't get there, headed out. Red Stars looking to counterattack. Krupa taking down the Red Stars player and keeping possession. Red Stars wanted a foul, but nothing there. Ball up over the top. August to Boyd. August trying to keep it in play for the moment, and it rolls out of bounds. Throw in for the Glory. Kind of a bang-bang situation. It was hard to tell who got the last touch. Into Scholes. August battling. Now Leck finds Messner running in from the defensive spot. Messner trying to work her way through, keeps possession for the moment. Battling between 3 players, going down. No foul given. Ref doesn't even make a play on gesture. He just thought it was a normal part of the game, and we play on. 3-on-1 there as Messner was not able to come out the other side of it. Back the other way quickly is Chicago. Weaving through the defense. LeCount off her line. Ball bounces around for a moment, but she's able to put it safely into her hands.
Yeah, Baxter, we've seen a couple of heavy challenges here in the last minute or two, one for each side, and the referee happy to keep the whistle out of his mouth and let him play on. LeCount did well there to recover the rebound on her own there.
It's been a pretty quiet game as far as whistles tonight. I've only seen a handful of fouls given, mostly in the middle part of the field, but a lot of those came in the first half.
Yeah, we had that one yellow card early to Skylar Prentice, and we haven't seen much of anything.
Yeah, and I even think the game got even more physical after that yellow card, and nothing else has been really called.
66 minutes played at Capitol Park. 3-0 our score. Hannah Leck will check out of the game. Shaylin Jared checking in along with Lauren Singstock. Anna Boyd will go sit down as well. Singstock sliding into more of an offensive position with Siegel up at the top. Selden sitting right behind them. The 3 S's on the attack tonight. Siegel, Singstock, and Selden.
It looks like I see Brianna warming up over on the sideline, so they might put her in then for Ashley.
Around the same time we saw her replace you down in Chicago as well, Miranda. So obviously you want to win games, but at the same time it is a developmental league as well, so you try to do your best to give some equal playing time to players. Brianna Frontudo, kind of a fun story. Played her high school soccer in the Luxembourg, Wisconsin area, played college soccer, and then as she likes to say, retired from soccer for a couple years to go pursue law school. She's down at West Virginia Law right now, is in classes during the summer right now. So she is balancing law school, but then decided to get back into soccer. So she, as she says, unretired, even though she's still very young, only in her early 20s, but unretired, and has been working hard to make a comeback this season to not only feature for the Glory, but just to continue to play the game that she's loved and played for so many years at a high level.
Yeah, I guess law school wasn't enough of a challenge. You had to add one more thing to her plate.
I guess so. That's the type of lawyer I want in my corner, honestly. So I look forward to hopefully never needing her, but if I do, somebody that can balance semi-pro soccer and law school at the same time. I know it's a mixed compliment, right? You hope you never need a lawyer, but if you do, Brianna Frontudo might be the one that you want. Shot flying over the bar. And here indeed is the change, Miranda, as Brianna Frontudo will check in. Ashley the Count's night is over in the 68th minute. The Count has done a great job. Lots of saves for her tonight. Lots of action in front of the net for her tonight as well. But still 3 goals in. 2 of them were opportunities for saves, but that first goal, that ricochet back in the 3rd minute, not a whole lot really any goalkeeper can do in that moment except pray that either it hits the post or a friendly teammate can stick their foot in at the last second and clear it out.
Yeah, just hopefully that post is, wants to be your friend, and otherwise, like if it hits it off the post in a weird way, it's going to go in.
For those that aren't aware of Brianna Frontudo's game, Miranda, how can you break down her goalkeeping style?
She is very loud, and she brings out a very big presence on the field, and definitely she has, the communication is very, very loud, and it's definitely something that we might need right here.
Red Stars maintaining possession inside the final third. All sprayed to the near side. Scholes over to pursue. Hard cut inside. Jared looking to step. Reinhardt getting a foot to it. Pops it out just enough to August. Ball played up the field. Singstock in pursuit. Siegel also up there. Ball played all the way back to the goalkeeper. Messner. No flag as the flag stays down. A shot. Frontudo off the crossbar.
As we just talked about, if it's their post must be your best friend tonight.
Yeah, Baxter, that's a little bit of a ball don't lie moment there with coming off the crossbar and staying out.
The Glory defense was frozen as they thought the ball played in initially was an offsides call. Frontudo, I think, even thought it as well, so that's why we didn't see much of a reaction off the shot. But what a welcome to the game for Brianna Frontudo. As here come the Red Stars back once again. Great play by Scholes to stick her foot in there and clear it out for a throw-in on the near side.
Unfortunately, no VAR in the WPSL, so we won't get a second look at that one.
I don't think it was in. It was close. Hole of the ball was not over the hole of the line to my knowledge, but that still was a tremendous rocket of a shot. Couple of subs for both sides. Mackenzie Scholes will step out. Katie Schmidt stepping in.
Katie brings that veteran presence to this defense as well. Very physical, energetic, and she knows what she's doing. She's not afraid to voice her opinion and get people where they need to be to get the defense in the right positions.
71 minutes played at Capitol Park. Green Bay Glory and the Chicago Red Stars reserves. Remember, we'll do it all again Sunday evening at 6 p.m. as the Chicago Dutch Lions The Dutch Lions have multiple franchises around the country, in Florida and Ohio. Now they've added one to Chicago, and they're part of the WPSL. Hard tackle from Selden. What injury. Selden looking really strong on that one. And a free kick earned for the Red Stars deep inside Glory territory.
It seems like a bit of a ticky-tack foul there after the way the referee's been calling most of the game. But definitely a dangerous position here for the Red Stars from probably about 25, 30 yards away. Frontudo's going to have to make sure her wall is set and ready for this kick.
4 in the wall. August, Jared, Schmidt, and Prentice. 6 Red Stars players on the far side of the box. Driven shot in over the bar.
It looked like Frontudo had that one covered, but that was a heck of a shot. A little bit of dip on that, and that ball was definitely challenging the frame.
Another sub for the Glory. Skylar Prentice will step off. Hannah Leck, I believe. Yes, Hannah Leck stepping in again. Leck finishing up her college career at St. Norbert's here in De Pere, Wisconsin.
Back into the Glory, number 21, Hannah Leck.
Skylar Prentice just graduated from Bemidji State. Great 4-year career for her. Definitely a great mix of state schools in Wisconsin for these Glory players, as well as some out of state as well. I think the farthest traveler is Abby Gemza from Lamar University down in Texas. You play your soccer at Stevens Point, Miranda?
Yep, and Hannah Krupa is going to be coming to Point with me, and so is Shaylin.
That's amazing. So we're building a little Glory pod there at Stevens Point. Heard rumors of a couple of high school seniors that might be trying out for the team next year, also going to Stevens Point. So we'll just take the whole Stevens Point roster on the field next year for the Glory. So
yeah, why not?
Build that chemistry now, and we'll see that carry over. Krupa goes down. Reinhardt clearing out for a throw into the far side.
Well done there by Morgan Reinhardt to track back and clean up a little bit of a mess there with Red Stars having a couple of players in the area and nobody for the Glory on their feet.
We'll check in with Greg Bintz again here shortly just to get the feel and the vibe from the sidelines as we are into the 74th minute between the Red Stars and the Glory. We thank you for joining us tonight on YouTube and on 11sports.com. Free kick on the far side. We'll check in with Greg shortly after this free kick is done. Red Stars going with more of a bunched formation on the far side of the box.
Yeah, that type of bunch formation can really confuse the defense itself because you don't know who you're really marking and where they're going to go.
Lofted ball to the near post, still available. Reinhardt trying to run interference. The Red Stars hold on to possession. Still in the attacking third. Another high ball floated in to the far post. Header off the frame, and that one goes wide. Down to Greg Bintz. Greg, what do you got for us? What are you hearing? What are you feeling down on the sidelines tonight?
Yeah, Baxter, it seems like while the Glory are down several goals for some of the games so far this season, you still have to appreciate some of the defensive plays that they've. We just saw her clear it out in a potential 2-on-1 situation. Kelsey Selden has made some good defensive plays and pushed the ball up in the field to push the offense to get that going. The physicality has always been there. Miranda has touched on that a couple of times tonight. Coach Bree Rezacek also made a comment earlier about the tone and how the Glory need to change that. They've certainly changed that as the game has gone on to keep themselves in the game yet. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg. A tone talk is what we're hearing down on the sidelines tonight. Definitely the way that you want to stay inspired. You want to be playing at a high level no matter what the score is. And, of course, as you concede goals, that can take a toll mentally and emotionally. But Glory still seem to be fighting down to the very last moment here, which is great to see. Some teams would hang their heads in this situation and say, we're down a couple goals, we can't win. Let's just, pack it in and try to get through it. But Glory still very much fighting hard. They're trying to give their home fans, which is a great crowd again this evening on a Friday night, something to cheer for, which they have done a great job of so far. 76 minutes played. Baxter Colburn alongside Pat Cole and Miranda Neiman here in the booth. Coming up at the end of the game, we will have thoughts and analysis as we look forward to the Chicago Dutch Lions game. Mandy Wilkie, Ashley Grant, and Linda Vance will close us out. Substitute on the far side as Morgan Reinhard will come off. A couple of hard minutes from her. Maddie Cruz will be the one stepping back on.
Back in for the Glory, number 28, Maddie Cruz.
Katie Schmidt shifting over to more of a center back position. Cruz stepping in as well. Looks like Cruz might be playing more of that left back now. So right back for Schmidt, left back for Cruz. Messner, Krupa, Schmidt, and Cruz, the back four for the Glory right now. Ball intercepted by Singstock as she works her way back up the field for the Glory. Trying to get through the traffic. Can she spray it wide? She tries to send it through to Selden, who's not able to get there. She had Jared to the far near side, but couldn't quite find the pass.
Great turn there by Singstock, pressured by a handful of Red Stars players, just unable to find feet of anybody on that finishing pass.
The thought process seems to be there. You see the thought, you see the intention from the Glory as they look to try to link passes together. Just still missing that final connecting piece, it seems, as we stray into the final 12 minutes of regulation. Jared looking for Selden, her pass intercepted. Long floating ball to the near side for the Red Stars. Ball swung through, Frontudo off her line, good save. Close the door, and she goes for the second attempt. Home fans loving that.
Well done by Frontudo there to get off of her line and make that initial save and then get right back on her feet and able to clean up that mess.
Yeah, definitely in practice, our coach, Mike Vesely, always tells us, like, if you don't get that first ball right away, you got to get your butt right back up and make that second save. So we're constantly practicing it with each other.
Stoppage on the field. Gio Karras there for the brief moment. Ball played now to the far side. Gio Karras will shield this one as it will track out of bounds very slowly, finally. Those lines are deceiving. Nicole Fries will sub in for Kelsey Selden in the 79th minute. Fries playing her college soccer at Minnesota Duluth. Or St. Cloud, I apologize. St. Cloud State is where she...
You're thinking Lauren Sinstock.
There
That's
you
where
go.
she plays.
Confusing. Singstock and Fries are both up in the forward area right now, so mixing my players and my Minnesota colleges, eh? Red Stars, top of the 18, shot. Frontudo with a big save. Second attempt over the bar.
Frontudo did really well there again to get a hand on that first one, and then just like you said, able to pop right back up, and she was ready there for that second shot that luckily sailed over the crossbar.
Fans, don't forget to stop by the Fan Glory shop. Check out the latest in Glory gear. Once again,
Hannah Krupa to take the goal kick. If you're just joining us, 3 goals tonight for the Red Stars. Couple of injuries as well for the Glory. Abby Gemza left the match early. Trudy Kwidzinski did not play tonight and will likely not play on Sunday either. Goal in the 3rd minute for the Red Stars off of a ricochet. Goal in the 31st minute. And a goal in the late 50s as well for the Red Stars.
Mischief and Magic, looking to blow up some balloons, perhaps do a couple tricks.
Freeze. Resetting, Gio Karras. Off the field, Black not able to be there. Another ball from Gio Karras only as far as the midfield line. Melky not able to get there. Ball sprayed to the far side. Tried to get played in. Schmidt blocks the first attempt. Now an attacking ball on the far side. Played in all the way to the far side. Totally unmarked. Left-footed shot. Ricochets over the bar. Frontudo, all she could do was watch. That would have been in if that had been on frame.
can kind of see the ball dip a little bit. And as we look at the flags here, we can kind of see that the wind changed a little bit too.
Corner kick earned by the Red Stars.
Wind is definitely blowing more across the field now as opposed to north-south wind that we had to start the game. Red Stars don't seem to be affected by it in the least, as they've had a good handful of chances here in the last few minutes.
Shaylin Jarrett will step off. Morgan Reinhardt onto the field. Anna Boyd on the field. And Mackenzie August back out on the field as well. And Skylar Prentice also joining the party. 4 changes for the Glory late. So we are in the 82nd minute. Corner kick for the Red Stars. Driven ball in, still available. And that one will go all the way out of bounds. Oh no, kept in. And a throw in as Leck clears it out.
Number 13, Mackenzie August. Number 19, Nicole Fries.
Ball played to the near side. Anna Boyd, one of those players so far, Pat, that we haven't seen as much from her as we had hoped, especially with her trying to finish kind of what she had started year 1. She's done a great job of scoring goals at the college level. She's been nursing a couple of injuries this season as well, so hoping for her to get back to that full strength so we can see that speed and pace and creativity that we know from her at that forward spot.
Yeah, as a young returning player to this team, I know there's been a lot of hopes and expectations, not just from the coaching staff, but a lot of expectations that Anna's put on herself. And I'm sure fighting those injuries to get back has been nothing fun for her to do, and hopefully she's back to full strength, 100%, and ready to go create those goals like you had mentioned.
Anna Boyd studying elementary education at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Didn't really get a senior season due to COVID, so she is taking a 5th-year option with her student teaching. Melke finding her way through, sprays it wide. Here comes August sprinting into space. Glory with an opportunity. August playing it through, and it will skip wide to the near post.
Another great opportunity for the Glory. Like we said, like we saw from Chicago, those long balls across, really opening things up now for both sides.
84 minutes played at Capitol Park. Wind picking up as we get ready to finish off the last 6 minutes. Reminder coming up at the end of the game, Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, and Ashley Grant will have their thoughts and analysis to close out our awesome game day studio team. Always look forward to hear what those ladies have to offer for us. Red Stars stay on side. Opportunity here across the face of goal. Frontudo watches it roll, and that will be out for a goal kick. Krupa to take.
Goal kick for the Glory.
To the near side, finding Cruz. The Wisconsin Badger product. Boyd with a touch off the outside of her foot, rolls out of bounds for a throw-in. Hannah Leck will sub out.
In for the Glory, number 5, Mackenzie Scholes.
Mackenzie Scholes will come back into the match. Leck for Scholes. Signals to me that they're going to probably play more of an outside attacking spot with Scholes, or a slider up maybe more up top for more of a center attacking mid.
Yeah, Baxter, and like we talked about, that long through ball over the top, across the field, switching the field seems to have been working for both sides now. So you look for more of that from the Glory.
Ball played to the far side. No one there for Chicago. Throw in for Reinhardt. High floating throw. Freeze wins the initial attempt. Red Stars coming back the other way. Middle of the park. Good 1-2 combination for the Red Stars. Bad touch for a moment, still available. Frontudo out, saved initially, cleared away by Scholes, and it goes off the foot of Mackenzie August. And a 4th goal in favor of the Red Stars. Wrong place at the wrong time, but not much you can do when the ball's bouncing around like that in front of your own goal, unfortunately. Good initial save from Frontudo, but the own goal comes off of August in the 86th minute. 4-0 in favor of the Red Stars.
Yeah, Baxter just very unlucky for Mackenzie August there. The ball kind of bounced around off. Great save by Frontudo there originally, and again we see the ball bouncing around in the box, and just a couple of unlucky deflections there for the Glory.
Messner plays to the middle of the park, finds Krupa. Krupa, high flying ball, headed away for the moment. Prentice winning it back, finds her sister Morgan. Now Messner resets, plenty of time and space in front of her, picks her head up. Ball deflected away for the moment. Takes an awkward bounce off the turf. Messner doing battle. Now giving space. Ball played in. Flag stays down. Shot cleared away by Krupa at the last moment. Corner kick for Chicago.
Yeah, Baxter, not sure I love that decision by Messner there to leave the Red Stars player with the ball and give her all that space. And I understand covering the player going to the corner there, but you're allowing that Red Stars player then to take an almost free run into the box. And obviously that leads to a dangerous situation.
Yeah, that definitely starts from like communication from the goalkeeper and communication just from your back line and everyone else around you. But even in practice, we're constantly always thinking we have to be pinched in. Everyone's got to stay tight in the middle and don't get pulled out wide. Otherwise, you're going to leave that whole middle open.
Takes one player making one small mental mistake at times that can open up an entire offensive run. As we head into the final 2 minutes of regulation here at Capitol Park. Reinhardt up from her right back spot. Now an opportunity on the counter. Red Stars in pursuit. Reinhardt playing it into the middle. Finds Melky. Melky resets. Now to August. Picking her head up. Ricocheting the ball around for a moment. Still there. To Melky doing hard battle for a moment. Or Boyd rather. Boyd taken down right at the top of the box. No foul given. The ref has been very quiet with his whistle in the second half.
Yeah, earlier in that run, you saw Jackie Melky get a ball, and as she went to make a turn, the Red Stars defender grabbed her arm and almost pulled her back. And again, just a little surprised to see the officials' whistle stay quiet on that one.
Scholes earns a corner kick. Prentice to take. Glory sending almost everybody forward outside of Reinhardt and Messner. Messner now will track up. It's just Reinhardt standing at the midfield line. Glory would love to steal one here at the dying moments. Messner on the volley! What a save, but a great shot from Brianna Messner. Totally unmarked at the top of the 18.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful shot from Messner there. One time off the corner kick. Chicago Red Star goalie Bloomer did well to be in position and make that save.
Messner played her college soccer here in Green Bay, UWGB, part of the Phoenix. Getting married, I believe, later this year as well. Very excited for that. Hails from Seymour, Wisconsin. Reinhardt beats her player on the far side. Going down, and a free kick earned for the Glory here in the 90th minute. Opportunity again to steal one goal before the end of the match. Once again, everybody up in the box outside of Reinhardt, who stands near midfield. Krupa will take the free kick on the far side. Ball swung in, still available, bouncing around. Now Freeze takes the touch for a moment. Can she keep it alive? She does. Finds Messner with a left-footed shot. That one will roll to the goalie, and that will do it. That is your final blow of the whistle tonight. As your final score from Capitol Park tonight is the Red Stars 4 and your Green Bay Glory 0. We will step aside for a moment. When we come back, it'll be time to break it all down. Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, and Ashley Grant are ready to rock and roll. Stay tuned for the post-game show right after this on YouTube and on 11sports.com. Welcome back to Capitol Park. I'm Baxter Colburn alongside Pat Cole. A 4-0 victory for the visiting Chicago Red Stars reserves. We have a lot of analysis for you coming from our studio team, joined by our sideline reporter as well. So with that being said, we're going to turn it over to Linda Vance, Mandy Wilkie, Ashley Grant, and Greg Binns for their thoughts on tonight's 4-0 victory for the visiting Chicago Red Stars reserves. Mandy?
Thank you, Baxter. We are here post-game, and tough loss for the Glory tonight. So let's break down what that 4-0 loss looked like in the second half. Things changed a little bit.
Yeah, we seemed to be a little more reactive on that ball. It was more reminiscent of the first time we played them. A little hesitation and just a lack of being able to connect pass to pass, looking more for just a clearance out of the back. And that's due to Red Stars pressure. You know, that's fully something that they just excel at. The second you get that ball with this team, they are on you, and it makes you go, and you could see that a little bit more this second half. Choices that were being made were just not, it was, I need to get rid of the ball, not, I'm going to make this pass, which will lead to this pass.
Yeah, I would say, Chicago definitely stepped up second half. I think when they capitalized on a mistake by the Glory, they executed a little bit tighter maybe than they did in the first half. So I think we got to see them heighten their game a little bit in the second half. So So more shots, more opportunities for them. It was nice for us to see a shot on goal by us too. So, definitely some good things we saw in the second half. I don't know if you have any thoughts for you.
Yeah, no, I'm totally right there with you with the opportunities. We saw a couple opportunities where the ball was pushed up the field after a defensive stop was made. We also saw a couple of great defensive plays in which there could have been a 2-on-1 opportunity, but Morgan Reinhardt was there to clear it out.
Yep.
It was 4-0. It could have obviously been much worse than that, but I think to limit the damage and see the offense improve a little bit with those opportunities is a step towards the next game on Sunday.
Yep, great.
We saw a change in the net for the Glory in the second half. We started out with one keeper, switched over, kind of a heartbreaker on one of those attempts. So talk a little bit about that and what that looked like on the field. Just what caused the change in the goalkeeper? What was the decision making behind that in your thoughts?
My assumption is they wanted to get Bree some playing time in against the Red Stars. This is a heck of an organization. You're going to get action. You're going to get a lot of reps. So as a young keeper, that's a great thing for her to get in there, get those reps, and build up that confidence.
100% agree. I mean, this is where you want your keeper to get some experience, to learn positioning much better, sharpen their game for sure. So, yeah, I would have given her that time and given her the opportunity. Yeah, that second goal was unlucky in the second half, a little ping pong in the 18-yard box, but it happens, and she made a great save to kind of kick it off, but then defensively we were in there trying to protect the net, and it kind of bounced off of us. So, I mean, that's our position. You saw it probably closer on the field.
Yeah, they already made a change like this. Actually, Miranda was the starting goalkeeper, and they put Frontuno in. But we talk about the talent. Obviously, the Glory and the Red Stars are very talented teams, but the Red Stars just a little overpowering with talent, and we've seen that in both games this year. Outscoring the Glory, I believe, 9-0.
Greg, you were down on the sidelines for most of the game. Talk about the energy of the two teams. We could hear some of the Red Stars from all the way up here. Talk about the energy on the sidelines and kind of what that can do for your team in the middle of a game.
Yeah, the energy was there all game. Coach Bree Rezacek actually made a comment early on in the first half. She was like, we need to set the tone better. I believe Hannah Leck was one of the subs that came in the game, and there was another sub as well. She was like, we need to set the tone better, and they went out and set the tone better. You saw that throughout the rest of the game, especially into the second half.
Perfect. What do you guys think? We have another home game Sunday night. So what do you think we can expect to see for changes in the way we're running the field, I guess?
I think you'll see an overall more aggressive play on Sunday. It won't be as much defensively minded. We'll still obviously be aware. We'll still be keeping those formations, keeping compact together as a team. But you're going to see a more aggressive side of Glory going on that attack, because we are going to have a little more wiggle room comparatively with the Red Stars tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see the 4-4-2 on Sunday, honestly, and see a little bit more pressure, see more opportunities, see the calm that we saw tonight, but really see them connect more passes and create more opportunities on Sunday. That's what I'm looking for.
I was at the Dutch Lion Glory game just a couple of weeks ago, and the Glory kind of made a few silly mistakes, I guess. There was a turnover that ended up being in a Dutch Lion goal, and then there was a penalty kick goal for the Dutch Lions, and they won that game 3-0. But I would agree with you, Ashley. I think you're going to see a lot more physicality as a result of tonight's game, and it should be a good game.
Well, again, great night for soccer. Tough loss for the Glory. We'll be back on Sunday. Lots of great things for the families. So looking forward to seeing you then.
Thank you, Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, Ashley Grant, and Greg Bintz for those final thoughts from tonight's match. Pat and Miranda, before we sign off for the night, give us your thoughts. Like we said, a 4-0 loss. Obviously, losing by a couple of goals is always difficult, but some moments of glory tonight, some good moments, some moments that you can build on and continue to take those steps forward. Pat, first from you, what did you notice tonight from the Glory?
I think we talked about it pregame. The speed for the Red Stars was going to be their advantage, and they definitely showed that in the first half with those long balls over the top and through. The defense did really well responding to that early goal, and they did really well building on that in the second half, kind of not taking over the style of play, but definitely the defense was there. They were able to get in the way of a few shots and slow the Red Stars down. The Glory still need to work on finding feet. They need to complete those passes. A lot of heavy touches on passes that were completed, and against a talented squad like these Red Stars, you can't make those small mistakes because they're just going to take advantage of it. And they piled up a little bit too much for the Glory, and that led to the result we saw tonight.
Exactly right. Miranda, your thoughts as far as what you saw out on the field tonight for Green Bay?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with Pat on a few things. Like, definitely our passes need to be more on, like right to the person's foot. Like, we had too many turnovers where it resulted into fantastic play with the Red Stars, and they, like I said earlier in the game, that like any small mistake anywhere on the field can result into a punishment and possibly a score.
Exactly right. We saw that a couple of times tonight. Obviously, 3 goals from the run of play, 1 off of a deflection, so there's not a whole lot you can really do in that regards. But I will say we did see some positives from Brianna Frontudo stepping in there, only allowing 1 goal tonight. A couple of really hard shots that she had to find herself in right away when she stepped onto the field. Of course, not taking anything away from Ashley LeCount, also doing a great job between the posts. Miranda, we want to say thank you to you for joining us tonight. We hope to see you back on the field very soon.
Yeah.
But thank you for helping us out, adding your insight, especially from the goalkeeper perspective. We love getting in the mind of goalkeepers and how you see the field. So thank you.
Different mind, different breed is what we say.
Yeah, that's 100% true. That's very true. Well, I want to say a special thanks to you joining us this evening. Thank you to Mandy Wilkie, Linda Vance, Greg Bintz, and Linda Monahan and Ashley Grant for joining us tonight as part of our studio team. Thanks to our social media team, to our producer, Anna, to our camera people, Eric, Jacob, and Gary. For Pat Cole and Miranda Neiman, I'm Baxter Coleman. We'll be back again Sunday, 6 p.m. kickoff against the Chicago Dutch Lions. Pre-game starts at 5:30. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you're not going to be here, join us on the broadcast. We will see you on Sunday. Have a good night. Thank you for watching the following broadcast of Green Bay Glory Soccer.